In today's video, we're going to discuss how to establish an LLC in Georgia so that you can position your company to obtain business funding. Okay, we've navigated to Incfile's website. We're in the process of establishing our LLC in the state of Georgia. And the reason why we utilize Incfile is because they offer free registered agent services for that first year. And we'll get into detail as to why you want to choose a registered agent for your business. So we'll go ahead and start here, and we'll also put a link in the actual description of this video so that you can get your free registered agent services with your business for that first year also. So that will be allocated to the description of this video. So we'll go ahead and hit start my business. All right, and we had a demonstration earlier, so we'll just start over. And it's asking, do you want to start your business? And we're, selected LLC, of course, and we utilize the state of Georgia. And of course, we're going to get the silver package. This is the package that comes with the article of organization and the unlimited name searches with the free registered agent service for a year. Now, notice that it has a $100 payment. That's what the state of Georgia charges for LLCs. They have other packages here that if you choose to go with those, you have that option also. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to select the $100 package. We'll select Get Silver package. So it's processing our information. And so our first name for this demo will be Joe Brown, right? And Joe's email address, we will go with Joe at joeconsulting.com, right? And the phone number, we're going to go with 404-369-7478. All right. And for the mailing address, we're going to use the business address that we would have already established in our prior videos. So if you recall in the prior videos, we talked about establishing a business address prior to establishing your LLC. So our address is 1325 Maple Street, and that's in Atlanta, Georgia. The zip code is going to be 30328. All right, and we're going to hit next. This is email address is not valid, and so I guess it's looking up in real email. So for Joe, we're just going to, for right now, guys, we're going to just use an address that we think could be existing out there, and that will be AOL. But typically, you would use your actual business email address here. But the fictitious address I made up, the system detected that it's not there. But when you're actually apply for your LLC, you're going to use your business email address there. So I'm going to hit next. So it's processing the information. So it gives me the option to, wait the 4 weeks or expedite it. So I want to go with the process of just waiting the 4 weeks. And I'm going to hit next. So it's processing. So it's asking me for the LLC's name. So I'm going to go with Joe Consulting Services, right? Joe Consulting Services. And the designator, it is an LLC, right? All right. And it's telling me my name will display as Joe Consulting Services, LLC. So the business type industry, I'm going to go with consultant. All right. And the number of members, is just me. All right, so I'm going to scroll down. In the business type, I'm just going to put business purpose will be business consulting. All right. And it's asking me to enter keywords for my business. I'm just going to, again, put business consulting. Or let me change that to consulting. All right, and so the actual, when I'm going to select, Let me scroll down here. It should be 546. So it'll be General Management Consulting Services. All right. And so I chose that because that's a actual code, NICS code, that will allow me to pretty much qualify for business funding. It's not a high risk code. So that's why I chose that code. And we'll have a separate video to discuss why you should select codes that are not high risk. All right. And it's asking me, notice that it's asking me for a professional business address. I've already went through the process of obtaining that. So I'm going to use my own address, right? Because we have a business address already, and I don't need to establish a business address with them. All right. And so I'm just going to use select here to choose this address, which is my business address. Going to hit next. All right. So notice that it's asking me if I want to apply for my EIN tax ID number. And it's telling me if I wanted to apply, I can choose it, free. And that's if I paid, an additional $99, I could get the EIN tax ID number, the operating agreement, banking resolution, and the business contact templates. Now you can go with that option if you choose to, but for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to select no, thanks. I will pass on this opportunity. All right. And it says provide the members information for Joe Consulting Services, right? So it's just me. So I'm going to select, it's individual, right? So I'm going to select my name and address here. So I'm the only member and I have 100% ownership. Hit next. All right. Next screen. Remember we talked about registered agent services in the prior, in the initial startup of the company formation. So the reason why you want to use this registered agent services is for the simple reason that, let's say that someone wants to sue your business. If you give them your current business address, uh, that means that when your lawsuit is served, you will be served at your business location. So let's say if you had customers visiting that day or any of your friends or family visiting you, they would actually serve the lawsuit at your place of business in front of your customers, right? Or you have cases where some people will have their actual business address registered at their home address, which we don't recommend. And so they end up serving the actual lawsuit papers there. So you never ever want to have your lawsuits served at your place of business. So this registered agent serves as that buffer, right? And what they do, all your legal paperwork, legal documentation is served to their address. So that's why it's important for you to file with Incfile, because they provide the 1 year free registered agent services. So they said assign Incfile as my registered agent free for 1 year. So this is an awesome deal for this package. So that's why we recommend Incfile. And again, we will post their link in the description of this video. So I have selected assign Incfile as my registered agent. All right. And so what we're going to do is hit next. And again, it's asking me for the EIN tax ID number. So right now I'm going to decline that to indicate that I don't want it at this point in time, but we will have to file for the EIN. So I'm going to hit next. And it's asking for small business banking, right? You can utilize this offer to get a small business banking account. But, for this time, I'm going to decline it. Not at this time. Hit next. All right. And so it's asking me for delivery. Do I want it electronically delivered or FedEx? So I'm not going to pay $25 to have it, delivered via FedEx. So I'm going to hit electronic. So hit next. It is asking for a tax strategy free consultation. Now, if you want to, I would advise that so that you could receive the free business tax consultation. It's no charge to you. I would select that, but for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to select I'm not interested at this time and hit next. Then it starts asking about business licensing. for your company? Do you want to pay them to go after your business licenses? Actually, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to select no. I'll do it for myself. But if you wanted to pay them, you could pretty much pay them $99 to take care of that. But I'm going to select no. Hit next. All right, so it brings me up to my order summary, right? And so now if I hit next and go through the payment process, so it's actually processing here. So it's asking me for the billing information. So I'm not going to go that far because we're not going to actually process it here. So after I enter my credit card information and select pay, that's where the actual processing would begin. And what would happen there, they would take my payment, send the paperwork off to the state of Georgia, and I would be notified once the filing has been done. So once you have gotten receipt of your filing from the Secretary of State that your business has been filed and incorporated, your next step would be for you to apply for your tax ID. Now, you do have the option of applying for your tax ID on the actual IRS's website. However, I'm not going to be able to demo applying for a tax ID on the IRS's website simply because you're not going to be able to go so far on the actual electronic application part because it's not going to let you do any type of demo services. You actually have to have a valid social security number as the initiator of it. But what I'm going to do is show you the actual SS4 application for the employee identification number. So this is the same thing, information that would actually go on the electronic form. So you would be prompted with, asking for the legal name of your business. So it would be Joe Consulting Services, right? And again, your mailing address, you would enter the 1325 Maple Street. You would come down to your city, state, and zip, Atlanta, Georgia 30328. And so your county and state where the principal business is located. It would be Fulton County, Georgia for this example. But of course, if whatever city and state that you live in and county, you would put your applicable county, city, and state there. Name of responsible party. This is the individual that's filing for the actual EIN number, and that will be Joe Brown. So you would just put your name here, and you would put your social here. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I input, a fictitious social security number. It number 8A asks, is this application for a limited liability company? I selected yes, and it asks for the number of members here, and I put 1. And it says if 8A is selected, was the LLC organized in the United States? You hit yes. Now, when you get down to 9A, it asks for type of entity. So in the actual online electronic form, it's going to give you that option. You're going to automatically be assigned to disregarded entity. So if you have one member, if you're the only member of your LLC, on the online form, it will specify that you're a disregarded entity. And that disregarded entity is automatically selected because you're one member. So that simply means that you will be taxed as a sole proprietorship. Now, after this classification and your application is processed, you do have the option of changing that tax classification, but we will go over that in a separate video. All right. And so in the online application, it would ask you for reason for applying. You would, pretty much you started a new business and ask for business type, and we're pretty much specifying business consulting. The date the business was acquired or started, and of course you started the business. We would just put 1/20/2022. So I just specified that I started the business yesterday. Close month of accounting year, we're pretty much going to close on December. And it's asking for the number of employees. So since I'm the only member, so I would just put 0 employees here. So pretty much I'm only going to put 0 for each one. And then it asks for the first date wages will be paid. So since I have no employees, that doesn't have to be completed. And it asks for check the box that best describes your principal activity of business. So I select other, and it's management consulting services and the low risk code of 54161. So that's the NICS code for management consulting services. And it indicates, number 17 asks, indicate the principal line of merchandise sold, specific construction work done, or products produced or services provided. And we just put business management consulting services. And again, if a third party filled the application out for you, you would just leave it blank. And number 18, it specifies, has the applicant or entity shown on line 1A ever applied for or received an EIN. And if this is your first application for this business, you would just select no. And again, you sign, Joe Brown, CEO, put in your phone number here in both spots. And I recommend that, if you've already gone through the process and applying for your business phone number, you would definitely put your business phone number in here. However, if you were to apply for regular phone service for your business phone number, you would probably have to put an alternative number here simply because you would not have had your business phone number assigned yet, because with certain carriers, like say for example like AT&T, you would have to have your tax ID established before actually applying for a phone number with them. But there's some phone services where you can get a phone number prior to applying for your tax ID because they don't require a tax ID. So we do have a phone solution for you guys where you can obtain phone services prior to applying for EIN, and that phone service will report to the actual 411 directory services so that your business will show up in the directory. There will be another video to discuss that. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we've input the actual business phone number here already. So you just, again, on the online application, you would have hit submit it, and you would have been returned with EIN number for you to use.
So if you enjoyed this video, like this video, subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video that's going to be released on Friday, January the 28th or sooner. And that video's titled, How to Get a Business Phone Number for Your Business. Now, the great thing about this business phone number is that it is reporting to the 411 directory, and this is the step in qualifying your business for business funding. We'll see you in the next video.